Welcome back, homebrewers. It's been a while since I've done a Homebrew Wednesday, but I haven't had a whole lot going on. Haven't brewed anything other than balling up my Imperial Stout. Just nothing really going on homebrew-wise. The barley wine's still in my oak barrel. It's going to be 2 months in the barrel as of this weekend. So I'm going to give it a try this weekend, see where it's at 2 months in. But for now, we're going to take a look at the Imperial Stout that I bottled up. I added some extra vanilla at bottling, so I don't completely know how this will taste, but as I've started my tradition as, it's in a Corona bottle. That's right. Why? Because it's a clear bottle. I can see if it's clean. 2, I know it will not get into the light. And 3, I can just kind of see the clarity of the beer, see how it's doing, see how the yeast is doing, how well it's flocculated at the bottom. So let's get this thing open. A little bit of pressure. I don't know if there'll be any carbonation. Just going to dump this straight down the glass. I mean, it's only 9 days and my house has been cold for most of that time. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I repitched yeast at bottling, and actually I got a little head on there. That's nice. Not too dark. Just nice, just straight up brown head. Definitely good to see some carbonation in there. But like I said, I repitched a combination. I just made a starter right before I bottled of some of my White Labs 01 Cal Ale and then my 090 San Diego Super Yeast in there. Just because I was afraid about carbonation. It's not that big. It turned out to be 10%. So not a huge Imperial Stout. It probably would have been okay not repitching, but just from the vanilla and the time aging, I was just a bit worried. So it's definitely going to carbonate up. That's cool. So let's get the nose on it. Definitely a lot of vanilla right now. Some dark chocolate, dark fruits underneath that. Some caramel. Yeah, well, we'll see how it tastes. Oh yeah, I like that. I think the vanilla is right where I want it to be, especially this young. It's definitely there. You can taste it quite a bit. I figure with time that vanilla is going to fade out, so I wanted a little more vanilla forward at the beginning, and I think it's about right where I want it. Little hints of that, like I used Madagascar bourbon vanilla extract at bottling, and I think that kind of comes through. Plus, I soaked it with some oak chips. Not getting a huge amount of that, but that might add a little bit of vanilla character to it, a little bourbon character too, since I soaked them in bourbon. It's probably a little cool right now. It's really smooth stuff. Really creamy on the mouthfeel. Yeah, that's really liking this stuff. I'm looking forward to drinking this, and I'll definitely keep it around for a while. Make sure I get some bottles that will age for a good while, just to see kind of where it ends up. So maybe a little too vanilla forward right now. But it kind of drinks like a chocolate milkshake, because if you put like vanilla ice cream, some chocolate syrup in there, it's kind of what this beer kind of reminds me of. %. Cannot taste that at all. It's really smooth. Yeah, it actually reminds me of barrel-aged Velvet Merkin from Firestone Walker. I've had that a couple times, and this beer definitely reminds me of that. The recipe was loosely based on Kate the Great, but I took a turn, did vanilla, did like a oaked bourbon thing instead of like an oak spirals in port wine, which that gave that beer this vinous note, which mine doesn't have, but definitely has some dark fruits, kind of like Kate the Great, some of that similar chocolate character. Although that one might have more of a roast character than this one seems to have, but that vanilla is pretty prominent right now. So holding up to the light, it's definitely pitch black, but it didn't pour out too black, so it's definitely not as dark as my No More Black Imperial Russian Stout. Which I want to brew again. I want to put that in my barrel when the barley wine's done, so we'll see when that will be. But that's a beer that I think if I could like blend those two together, this beer and that, I think it would really work. So I might try that in a video because I have some bottles of that one left, just to be curious to see how those would complement. Because that one's really dark, really roasty. This one's got a bit more sweetness to it. But hopefully I'll ship out some of these to a couple of you that I know really well that I know wanted to try it. I'll eventually get some bottles out to you. But right now it's definitely tasting a little young in terms of being in the bottle. Probably get a little bit more carbonation to kind of help out the palate, and some of that vanilla I think will fade away a little bit because I think it is a little touch vanilla forward, but that's kind of what I was going for. So until next Homebrew Wednesday, cheers to all you homebrewers. See ya.